Hey guys, and welcome to another Game Explained discussion. I'm your host Ash Paulson, and today I'm joined by special guest Nintendaan to discuss his hands-on time with the final retail version of Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS. So let's get rolling. Alright, Daan, so you have had your review copy, actually, of Super Mario Maker for 3DS for a while now, and so you've kind of gotten a pretty good idea of what the game's all about, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. Well, let's just jump right into it. So, obviously you've got tons of time playing the Wii U version of Mario Maker, like we all do. How are you kind of feeling about the 3DS version in comparison?
When it comes down to the building tools, like everything is there except for the mystery mushrooms, which was a given. Not even like the fancy 30th anniversary amiibo are supported, so you can't use amiibo at all in this version.
Right.
But all of the other elements are there. They're put in different places, I noticed, in comparison to the Wii U version. Because, like, some later editions, like the checkpoint flags and that other stuff were made, but they put them a bit earlier in the editor, so you ensure that you put them in the levels if you're making a really lengthy level now.
Okay.
Which is nice. But you can still, like, arrange them in any way you like, so it's not really a big difference.
Okay.
But all the tools in principle are there. But yeah, when I initially started playing it, I had a little issue with the 4x3 display of the touchscreen, because it's less real estate to put blocks down. What I did is basically remove the toolbars from the left and right, which you can do in the 3DS game.
Oh, okay.
So you have more room to play around with. And this is actually crucial, because if you want to put, like, again, a whole row blocks down, and you want to let the school screen automatically, you will have to kind of remove them, or else you won't see the outer edges of the screen, which is kind of a tricky thing to begin with. I mean, you can use the D-pad or the circle pad and do it that way, but there is something satisfying of just putting that row of blocks down and just letting the screen slide.
Sure. So it sounds like then Nintendo kind of planned for the fact that players would have less screen real estate to work with when creating levels on the 3DS.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's still smaller than I would technically like,
yeah.
But it definitely still works. I mean, once again, all the options are there. You can remove the block sides to give yourself the little extra space, but it will never be as perfect as doing it on the Wii U gamepad. That's for sure.
Right. Well, and something I also noticed too is that, I mean, of course, this is somewhat to be expected because, the Wii U is a high-definition console, but I noticed that the 3DS version, while the Mario 1, Mario 3, and Mario World themes actually look pretty good, I noticed that the new Super Mario Bros. U theme really looks really washed out and kind of blurry and not so hot on the 3DS. Is that still the case in the final version?
I mean, the backgrounds look really nice, actually, especially the one from the first world looks actually still really good.
Okay.
But the actual models, that's where it kind of falters, because especially Mario and the enemies don't really look all that great. It's expected, because this is definitely a downgrade from the Wii U game. And they're trying to put Wii U assets into a 3DS game, which in itself is sort of impressive. They put the propeller suit in a 3DS game. Which they never done before, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it's, you'll definitely notice it when you play it.
Walk me through how you're feeling about the game in general. I mean, is this something, now that you've played it, is this something that you could see yourself picking up to kind of, complement your Wii U Super Mario Maker experience? Or, I mean, does it really do anything to legitimize itself? Because, I mean, the elephant in the room here is that you still can't, there's no connectivity with the Wii U version, which is still just crazy.
No, there is no way to upload levels to the Wii U. Even just transferring that level to Wii U and upload it there would have been nice.
Right.
Especially since you already work with one Nintendo Network ID these days anyway. So why not do it that way? I mean, it's not all that difficult to see. But it's... Yeah, I still don't get that, honestly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make me appreciate the other stuff they put in there too, because Street Pass, for example, can hold 100 levels.
Huh.
Which is really good.
That's a lot.
For a Street Pass function, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And the local multiplayer stuff, you can give other players like courses you downloaded from the course world, or stuff that you made yourself, or you can collaborate with one another. So that stuff is really interesting. It's just that the online part is where it sort of falters, and I've not been able to really play with the online stuff just yet because they kind of blocked it off for us.
Sure.
And it even says that we need an update to activate it. So that's the only part I haven't seen really yet. But the course world is where you will also play all of your Street Pass levels now, which is a good place for it to be in. But there are two other main gripes of this, elements of this 3DS thing, and that first are the lessons. You get a better explanation for how to make levels in this game, because Mashiko or Mario in the American version, Yamura, basically give you instructions on what the perfect placement is, how individual elements work, and there's a lot of charm and banter between them, which makes it really fun to dive into. And every lesson has two parts. The first half focuses on learning the basics, again, course structure or enemy behavior, and the second slide sees you playing a level, and after that they will give some feedback on the individual elements they placed within that level.
Okay. So it sounds like you're kind of guided through making levels a lot more than you are in the Wii U version. There's a lot more kind of a tutorial element to it.
Yeah, they definitely you don't have to do them. That's the thing. They're totally optional, but they're fun to do. So I definitely went all through, I think, 9 lessons, and again they're split in 2 parts, so I would say 18 sections in total. So doesn't take all that long, but it's fun to do.
Okay.
And then the second part about this board is something they really mentioned in the Nintendo Direct, which was the Super Mario Challenge.
Right.
Which replaces the 10 Mario Challenge, which was not all that great.
I thought actually, didn't it replace the 100 Mario Challenge, or is that still in there?
The 100 Mario Challenge is an online thing.
The
10 Mario Challenge was the local thing that ended with the 4 stages of the Nintendo World Championships.
Gotcha, okay. So how does Super Mario Challenge differentiate itself then from 10 Mario Challenge?
So 10 Mario Challenge, again, it gives you 100 stages to play with, which is a lot. And there are not short stages like on the Wii U game. They actually are full-length stages.
Okay, nice.
Some even use the 2-layer real estate to make something really special out of it, which is great. I can only talk about the first 6 worlds of the 18 that are available. Yeah, in one of the early New Super Mario Bros. U stages, you're asked to keep up your momentum as you jump and spin at the correct times, and it is really challenging. And another thing sees you constantly flying with the cape of Super Mario World and use the momentum to net yourself a grand amount of coins, which is fun. It's really fun. And the good thing is that Nintendo actually gives you reasons to play these courses too. You follow a map structure where you clear worlds and you save Princess Peach. There are 2 optional medal challenges to complete in each level, so it gives you reasons to replay levels by tackling the challenge again or playing them in the course bot section. For example, one of the challenges sees you not pressing left at all and just constantly moving to the right, while the other lets you shoot fireballs at certain enemies and they're stacked, so you need to be really specific or else you will screw it up. And at every end of the world, Yamamura and Mashiko congratulate on your efforts, and they give you new parts for the editor, and that's how you unlock new parts for the editor. That way, you actually have to complete those worlds.
Oh wow! So it's not automatic anymore, just by going into the editor and messing around for a while.
No, you have to go also through Super Mario Challenge. You don't have to finish the medal challenges for the first time if you just want the parts. But it's how you unlock parts that way, and every world also introduce some new elements, like one world focused on the one jumping aspect, the other focused on certain enemies. So you're also naturally introduced to new elements through that Super Mario Challenge, which is also a really neat idea and concept.
Yeah, no, it is, but I'm surprised. It's actually a little un-Nintendo-esque for them to lock those features behind challenges like that. Essentially, I mean, can you see are any of these stages challenging by any means? Like, can you see some players having trouble unlocking all the course elements?
They are challenging but not undoable. Like, I'm not the best 2D Mario player by any stretch of the imagination, and I got through like the first number of worlds like pretty easily.
Okay.
Even though I struggled a lot and lost a few lives here and there.
Sure.
So it never became frustrating in a way. Like, if you are not really well versed in certain Mario elements, then you will have some problems here and there. I will definitely see that, but it's if you know what you're doing, it won't be that big of a deal.
All right, so it definitely sounds like Nintendo kind of retooled things kind of geared things toward a more single player experience for the 3DS version. Is that kind of what's going on?
Yeah, especially the play portion is where they put a lot of effort into that stuff, which is fun to see, especially with the 100 stages they put in the game from the get-go, which are once again like way better than anything of what that 210 Mario challenge was, which is not that hard to do.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see, you know. At the same time, I'm still sort of bummed with no online stuff with the editor.
Right. I mean, I think that's going to be the main sticking point for a lot of people, and rightly so. Like, I mean, this would have been a perfect opportunity to really trumpet Wii U and 3DS connectivity, and they just I don't know why they didn't. I don't think anyone does.
No, I really don't get that. Like, even if you just send your levels to the Wii U game, it shouldn't be that much of an issue.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know, even though the Wii U is kind of on its last legs and on its way out, I can't see that as being a reason why they wouldn't want to have the game support the Wii U version. I mean, it doesn't really hurt them, or as far as I know, it doesn't cost them anymore, so it's really weird.
Yeah, and they have done this before. Look at WarioWare DIY, for example.
Right.
You could send your minigames to a WiiWare app.
That's true. Yeah, I actually completely forgot about that.
So, why not, Nintendo?
Yeah.
That's my question, really.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's question about this game is, first, why, and then if you're going to do it, why not add, why not add, Wii U connectivity? But I digress. I mean, so obviously there's no Wii U connectivity. Is there anything else specifically you want to mention about the 3DS version of Mario Maker?
I think I covered all of the options that are technically there. I'm still having a lot of fun with those Super Mario Challenge levels. It's way longer than I ever expected it to be.
Sure.
Like when they said in Nintendo Direct, oh, you have 100 stages, I would thought, oh, they're these short ones again.
Yeah.
I will finish those in like maybe an hour and a half. Because there were 50 levels in the Wii U game, and those were also not that long.
Right.
But I've been having a good time with those. They have been really impressive, actually. And once again, the lesson stuff is fun, and I walked away with some ideas how to make levels, even if it's not on the 3DS version. But right. I would say this version is more charming than the Wii U game.
Really? I wasn't expecting that. How so?
Like I said, with the banter that's between Yamamura and Mashiko, or Mario, they've put a lot more focus in guiding the player, giving the player some element of this is where you need to go, or just having a nice introduction to some of the elements that are in this game. Like when you boot up Super Mario Challenge, is it Mashiko will say, Yamamura, look, I think we're now getting introduced to the world famous Super Mario character, Princess Peach.
So there's kind of a lot of fourth wall breaking then, where they kind of, they help guide the player, but they act as if these in-game characters are celebrities. So it's basically Nintendo charm kind of firing on full cylinders, or on all cylinders.
Yeah, and that was the thing, I would say that was the thing that maybe the Wii U version was missing. And they've added that in, by the bucket load. Because even the load-up screen when you boot up the 3DS game is Yamamura eating something.
Nice.
So it's really cute, but it's a minor thing, but it adds a lot to the charm of the game.
Sure. No, I totally understand that. Well, that's good to hear. What about, how are you feeling overall about the graphical downgrade? Because as we were talking about, obviously the character models in the new Super Mario Bros. U skin don't look so hot. And, you know, I think I remember from my own hands-on time that I noticed the game itself runs at a smooth 60 frames, of course, but that the coarse elements overlaid on top of the stage, like the sound effects and the special effects, or like even bubbles coming out of Mario when he's underwater, those seem to run at 30 frames. Is that still the case?
I think it does, yeah.
Okay.
For example, with the test course that I made, I put like the change of music on Mario, where you shake the Bowser and then get a different tune when you put it on Mario for the entirety of the level.
Right.
And when that activated, like the background slowed down just a tiny bit.
Okay.
Gotcha. Which is noticeable, but not really an issue overall.
Okay. All right. And how are you feeling about the 8-bit skins and the 16-bit skins? Do you think they look generally pretty good?
Yeah, they still look really sharp on the 3DS. Surprisingly so.
That surprised me too, actually. When I saw that, I mean, before I, of course, went into the new Super Mario Bros. U theme, I was actually really impressed by how surprisingly great the other three themes looked, even on the 3DS screen.
They do. They absolutely do. And that's how I experienced that game mostly, because when I played those stages and looked at all of the skins of all the levels, I was sort of impressed that it looked this well.
Yeah.
And it looks really clean on my 3DS screen. Again, except for maybe the models of Bros. U, but that's kind of the expectation when you go from a Wii U to a handheld.
Cool. Well, then I feel like we've kind of touched on almost everything about the game. Is there anything else you want to kind of go over?
No, I think that's about it that the game offers, so I think we covered everything.
All right, well, I think we're about ready to wrap up. But before we do that, how about you tell our audience where on the internet they can find you?
Oh, way too many places. I should stop saying that sentence.
I know, right?
I know. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, which is @Nintendaan. It is NINTNDAAN. On YouTube, that's the same, but one at the end, so Nintendaan1. Go Nintendo, Nintendo World Report, where the preview for this will be up. My own written preview. I will have some videos to go alongside of that. I'm still working on those, but they hopefully should be done by the time you listen to this, if not soon enough. And beyond that, Nintendo Force magazine and a whole bunch of others true, where people just ask me to give my thoughts, and I will do that because I'm that type of guy. Like here,
right.
Follow if you don't follow Game Explain, go follow Game Explain. They're lovely people too, you know.
Well, that's what we love about you. That's what we love to keep having you on.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Well, as always, guys, if you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, and also consider following us on our various social media accounts. You can find links in the video description below. Otherwise, keep it right here on Game Explained for more on Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS and all things gaming. See you next time!